Hello and welcome back to Genshin Impact. Today we're going to be doing Layla's Hangout. Ever Silent Stars. Let's go to the academia.
Oh, we meet again. Sorry, but I don't really have time to chat right now.
What's wrong?
I was originally looking up some information at the House of Dana, but the more I read, the more I realized that my thesis is horribly lacking.
Being long tortured by her own anxious thoughts, Layla's stress value shows her current mental state. This value will fluctuate as the story progresses. Appraise the situation carefully before making your choice.
I should have been done with the first draft of my thesis by now, but I've barely written a third.
Okay, so what are you planning to do now?
Well, I guess I have to keep looking up as much info as possible. I shouldn't give up now. But who am I kidding? Maybe I'm not cut out to be a researcher. Maybe I shouldn't have come to the academia in the first place. All I've done is cause trouble for my advisor and classmates. I should probably notify my advisor sooner than later, so he can focus his attention on the other students. No, I don't even have the guts to bring it up, and I haven't completely given up yet.
Cheer up, things probably aren't as bad as you think they are.
To be honest, I haven't slept a wink for days. Just thinking about the awful state of my thesis keeps me up at night. Lack of sleep hinders my ability to focus, and if I can't focus, I can't do any proper research or thinking. I'm stuck in a vicious cycle. I've seen the caliber of the other academia students. They're all geniuses and fast learners. I'm nowhere near as gifted as they are. Oh, if it wasn't for someone who's been helping me out, my advisor probably would have kicked me out of the Darshan by now.
Is this someone a good friend of yours?
No. All my friends are back home. I'm the only one who got to come study at the academia. This might sound strange, but I actually don't know who's been helping me. I don't even know if they're a person or not. Due to my lack of sleep, I sometimes get dizzy and faint when I'm stressed out.
It's that bad, huh?
Yeah, but oddly enough, when I wake up, all the things I was stressing over are taken care of. My homework's somehow finished before the deadline, and my papers are perfectly written. But that's not all. My flowers are watered, laundry's done, even my broken camera was fixed. I really don't know what's going on, but for now, I'm calling the phenomenon a blessing from the stars. Maybe the stars above decided to help out after seeing all the effort I put into my research. If that's even possible.
That sounds pretty extraordinary.
But there's no point in me studying at the academia if I keep relying on this mysterious phenomenon. It comes down to my own efforts, improving one step at a time, Uh, how else can I honor my parents and live up to the expectations of everyone who knows me?
That makes sense. The effort you put in is equally important.
Oh no, I've already spent too much time chatting. Ah, I still haven't made much headway on my thesis. At this rate, I'll need the Wisdom Sealy's help.
You just said you wanted to rely on your own efforts.
Yes, but time's of the essence, so I have to take what I can get. Oh, sorry. I'm just making excuses. But the Wisdom Sealy is truly amazing and freely shares its endless knowledge. Oh, if you want its help, all you have to do is write down your question and you'll get a response a short while later.
Can Sealies even do something like that?
No one knows who or what it actually is. It's just known as the Wisdom Sealy. But getting an answer all comes down to the Sealy's mood. Sometimes it'll only give you a vague answer or play tricks on you. I'm pretty sure a researcher wouldn't do something like that. All I can do right now is hope that it helps me.
But what about the blessing from the stars?
Who knows if it'll happen this time? I can't put all my eggs in one basket. Trying my luck with another phenomenon is better than doing nothing.
It sounds a little sketchy, but I'll go check it out with you.
Oh, really? But I don't want to take up your time.
It's fine, I don't have anything going on.
Sorry for the bother. You're too kind. Okay, let's go give it a try. I've already prepared my question for the Sealy. I just hope it can help me get through this predicament. Among the countless legends surrounding the House of Dana, the Wisdom Sealy is one of the more popular ones lately. It hasn't been around for long, but word of the Sealy's existence spread like wildfire. Many people have claimed that they've received a reply from it. So, it should probably help me as well, right?
So, do you call its name and it appears, or is there some kind of summoning ritual?
Any funny antics in the House of Dana will get you escorted out, or perhaps thrown out. Let's split up and ask around about the Sealy. Hopefully someone knows something more.
Okay. It's definitely a weird one already. What about the thing that does all the work and chores for her? I assume it has to do with, her alter ego from the event.
Excuse me? Have you ever heard of the Wisdom Sealy?
You've come to the right person. I came across this legend not too long ago myself. After hearing about it, I decided to test it out and ask it a question about the brightness of the stars. 2 days later, I got a response. It included 2 pages of detailed and accurate information. It saved me from having to look up a ton of resources.
Really?
Yeah, so I submitted another question a few days ago. I still haven't received a reply, though.
That sounds like what others have said, but I don't have the time to wait for a reply if the Sealy doesn't answer right away. Whatever. Can you please tell me how to submit a question to the Wisdom Sealy?
It's quite simple. Go to the bookshelf over there and find either Theoretical Astrology or a quick reference guide to astrology cases.
Oh, I know where those are. My Darshan has us use those two books quite often.
Okay, so write your question in a letter addressed to the Wisdom Sealy, and then insert the letter into one of the books. Come back in a day or two, and if you see a red stamp on your letter, that means the Wisdom Sealy has replied. However, if the stamp never appears, then that means the Sealy doesn't want to answer your question.
I see. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go write down my question. Hopefully the Sealy replies.
It's her. She said she hasn't slept in a couple days and he hasn't got a response in a couple days. And she said that multiple people have been reporting the same thing. It's in here, right? Cause that alter ego's when she's sleeping. Which is interesting. Layla places her letter in the designated book.
Finally. I wrote out my question and put it in the book.
What do we do now?
Wait, I guess. Let's give it some time. I'll come back tomorrow to check on it. Don't worry about me if you have other things to do.
I'll come with you. I'm a little worried.
I see. Thanks. I appreciate it. Alright then, let's meet up here tomorrow. I really hope the Sealy replies.
The next day, you and Layla return to the same bookshelf.
Time to look at the letter. Please let there be a stamp. Please let there be a stamp. There's a red stamp on it. The Sealy responded. Fantastic.
You look better already.
This is wonderful. My troubles are at an end. I can't even begin to express how grateful I am. Let's take a look at what it wrote. Thank you for your letter. Though I have extended a response, I cannot answer your query due to your questionable motives. Questionable motives? Me? Wait, huh? Okay, let's see. Completing a thesis requires independent thought and work. You planned on using my knowledge to complete your paper's most critical portions. That's not right. However, considering that your deadline is fast approaching, and that there is substance to the content in the completed sections of your thesis, I've decided to help you nonetheless. Follow the hints I've left, and you will find the answer to your question. Consider the effort you put into thinking and searching as your payment for my knowledge. What the... It's absolutely right about everything. Oh, I'm starting to feel guilty now. I can't deny any of it. But I'm running out of time. Oh, what should I do?
Mib might be messing with you.
Good point. Why else would it use such a roundabout way to tell me its answer? Supposedly, everyone who's been pranked by the Sealy had angered it in some way. That means the Sealy is someone who's very strict and serious about knowledge. But who knows if it's really a Sealy or some person.
The main issue is that you have a deadline to meet. There's no guarantee that you'll actually get an answer, even after doing what it says.
True. And if I don't get an answer, then I'll only have wasted more time. Oh, but there's nothing else we can do. It's the one holding all the cards. it's completely hidden and can choose whether to help us or not. After all, it'd probably be impossible to find it and ask my question in person.
Now that sounds like an idea.
Huh? Uh, I was just kidding. Oh, please don't take me seriously. It's a Seelie we're talking about. According to legend, Seelies are elusive and can create countless copies of themselves. Who's to say that it won't summon a shooting star to crush us once we find it?
Think about what you just said for a moment.
Sorry, I'm just a little panicky. Okay, Layla, calm down and think. If the Seelie is a person, then there has to be a way to track them down. We have two possible leads right now. The first is the checkout logs of those two books, and the other is the red stamp. The red stamp bears the Retawahist emblem, which is used by a lot of people. It'll be hard to track down an individual, so we should probably start with the checkout logs.
Can't disagree with that logic.
Let's go and make an inquiry. We can also ask around the House of Dana and see if anyone else knows something about the Wisdom Seelie. Hi there. Have you heard of the legend of the Wisdom Seelie?
Do I really look like the kind of student that would be interested in such a pointless legend?
Oh, I'm sorry. We were just curious.
Well, I do happen to have some information on it.
Then why didn't you just say so?
Huh? Logically, that has nothing to do with the question I asked. I just don't want others to see me as some poor excuse for a student whiling away my time in the House of Dana.
I don't really think bad students would come to the House of Dana to pass the time. But anyways, you were saying?
Well, I spend most of my time here, and I have noticed something odd before. One time, late at night, a black shadow fell from above and landed in the central area of the House of Dana. Of course, I was a little sleepy at the time, but it startled me, and I got up to see what was going on.
And then what happened?
Then, the shadow quickly circled behind me with incredible speed. Just as I tried to turn around to get a look at it, I fainted.
This shadow sounds pretty powerful.
Yes, it was unbelievably fast. I had never seen anything like it. It was so unusual that I wasn't sure if it was real or if I was half dreaming. But given how popular the legend of the Seelie has become lately, maybe this has something to do with it.
Don't take this the wrong way, but doesn't the House of Dana have a door?
It was closed that night. I suppose even the House of Dana needs to be closed for maintenance from time to time.
I see. That makes sense. But what were you doing here if the House of Dana was closed?
Don't look so surprised. It's a common practice to find a place to hide before they lock the doors, so you can continue reading books here. Everyone knows that.
Good thing I'm not studying alongside you. I could tell that you'd really stress me out.
Anyway, thank you for the info. I'll be sure to take note of everything you mentioned.
You're welcome.
Hi there. Do you know anything about the Wisdom Seelie?
Yes, of course. I've been looking into it for quite a while now. However, I feel like I'm still missing some key pieces of information. Hey, maybe if we put our heads together, we can figure something out.
Sure. I'll try my best.
There are a few known traits of the Wisdom Seelie. First, it's extremely strong. It can easily carry a few dozen books, along with 4 or 5 pieces of astrology equipment all at once. It's extremely athletic as well. It only moves in a straight line and doesn't stop for anything, not even walls or rivers. Lastly, it has a number of special abilities. It has a hardened metal body that's impervious to injury. It can freeze water into ice, and it can also summon meteors.
That doesn't even sound human.
Sounds like some hero out of a fairy tale.
Well, it is a legend after all. It's no surprise that some details seem a little exaggerated. But these aren't just made up, you know. Each of its abilities has been confirmed by eyewitnesses. There have been many sightings too, including at Chatrakam Cave, the Avidia Forest, and around the waterfall south of Sumeru City.
Has anyone seen what it actually looks like? Or what kind of person it is?
Not that I know of. No one's been able to get close to it. It seems like it tries to stay out of sight. I would probably want to remain a mystery too, if I were someone as legendary as the Wisdom Sealy. So what do you make of it? Have you seen it somewhere as well?
No. We're probably gonna need some time to digest all the, incredible information you've provided us.
Not a problem. But if you manage to find anything, be sure to come and tell me about it. I trust that you'll quickly discover the excitement of slowly unraveling the truth.
Okay, she was no help. Oh, a cryo person is all we could really tell. Which Layla's cryo.
Oh, hello there. Can I help you?
Hello. I'm a Ratawahis student and would like to see the checkout logs for theoretical astrology and a quick reference guide to astrology cases.
Oh, are you also here to investigate the Ratawahist Wisdom Sealy legend?
Also? I suppose it makes sense that we're not the only ones investigating such a popular legend.
Yes, I myself am also quite curious about it, but unfortunately I haven't found anything out of the ordinary. Given you're a Ratawahist student, I'm sure you know that a lot of research references these 2 books. All our copies of these particular titles are frequently checked out. I have looked into it, but found no irregularities in the checkout logs.
Is there any chance the Sealy could have taken the books out and returned them without being noticed?
Not likely. That would be almost impossible. The House of Dana is extremely strict about the circulation of its books. There will always be a record if a book is checked out. And even if it managed to figure out a way to take the books without leaving any record, it's possible that someone would come looking to borrow the books before the Sealy returned them. If someone discovers that a book is missing or that it doesn't match my inventory records, it would come to my attention immediately. However, it might be possible to pull off in the case of a less popular book.
Okay, I understand now, thank you. This is useful to know. With any luck, it'll help us work out the Sealy's identity.
Yeah?
Okay, everyone's given us a lot of useful information. Let's go through it and try to organize everything.
So the Sealy takes a letter, puts it in another book, and checks it out. Or just grabs a letter and takes the letters home.
Some things we heard were pretty straightforward, but others were just, ridiculous.
We should be able to figure out more about his identity and whereabouts.
Yeah. Let me think and see what I can make of it. Okay, calm down, Layla. I know the info's all over the place, but you can definitely do it. First, let's try to figure out the Sealy's identity based on the clues we currently have. Then, we'll analyze where it's been sighted and its motives. Finally, we'll piece everything together. From there, we should be able to predict its movement. Alright, let's give it a try.
Okay, book checkout logs. Interpret.
Book circulation is strictly regulated, and there is a log of anyone who checks out a book.
Okay. Guess the Wisdom Sealy's true identity.
The stamp. Which probably means they're a Ratawa student.
Okay. So,
No.
okay, let's... Oh, how do I cancel the association? Okay. Interpret the shadow that infiltrated the House of Dana.
It once infiltrated the House of Dana while it was closed.
Interpret the Wisdom Sealy superpower.
I think I heard somewhere that it has a lot of ridiculous abilities.
Okay, let's interpret setting location.
It's been to the Chatrakam Cave, the Avidia Forest, and the waterfall south of Sumeru City.
Okay, so let's try associating the identity with the location. Okay, I guess behavioral logic.
Okay, I think I've got it now.
So what have you come up with?
First, based on the information Katayun provided, we can assume that the Sealy is a student from the Ratawahis Darshan. The possibility of it being someone outside the Darshan can be ruled out because it'd be impossible to gain access to those two books without going through the librarian. Next, leaving its crazy abilities aside, all the sightings took place in locations that are officially recommended for astrology observation by the academia. In other words, it's probably just conducting research, and the nature of its research is very similar to mine. The question that I submitted was no simple query, but it was able to give me a reply in just a day. This implies that it's familiar with a similar field of knowledge. So based on this reasoning, all we have to do is wait for it at the next astrological observation site.
Look at you, finishing your thesis should be no problem at all.
It's nothing, really. There are actually some other factors that I've been speculating about. But that's not important right now. Let's get going. Even though we have a lead, it's still hard to say whether we'll be able to make any discoveries. I'll tell you what I mean by that if the Sealy doesn't show up.
Okay. So we'll go to the observation area. Could already tell she's gonna fall asleep and then her alter ego is gonna be the one that's there.
The weather today is perfect for observation. Let's see if it shows up. Honestly, spending an entire night waiting for something that we're not sure is gonna happen might not be the best use of our time. But we don't really have any choice. This is all we've got. Get some sleep if you're tired. I'll be up. It's not like I could sleep anyways.
I'll stay up with you.
Thanks. Oh, how about I share some basics about astrology with you? If you're interested, that is. Sure enough, it didn't show up. We hardly saw any animals, let alone people. No matter how conclusive the evidence is or how perfect our reasoning may be, nothing will happen as long as I'm awake.
Are you referring to the wisdom sealy or the blessing from the stars?
They're probably one and the same. It's like I told you, I have a severe sleeping disorder, and there have been a lot of rumors about me sleepwalking. I tried to understand what I had been doing when I'm unconscious, but I've never been able to get any definitive evidence. Something is actively attempting to cover up all the clues without my knowing. Maybe that something is me. Or maybe it isn't. I can't be sure. For all I know, I could even be the Sealy. But what if I am? Would the Sealy be willing to help me this time? What is it actually thinking? I really have no idea.
What if I could help you?
Huh? You want to help me? Of course it would be nice to know what's really going on. But that's impossible. It's always avoiding me and keeping me in the dark. And that won't change even if you're around.
Seeing how badly she wants to know, maybe we should find a way to ask the other Layla about it.
Huh? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Maybe there really isn't anything we could do.
Yeah. And to think I could have been working on my thesis this whole time. My stomach is churning just thinking about it.
Wow, we're gonna stress her out till she passes out. You're really not gonna finish on time now.
Please stop. The more you talk about it, the more silly I feel. Oh, come on, Layla. What are you doing? Everyone's gonna start thinking you're crazy now. Oh no. I'm losing it. So dizzy.
I'm sorry to have made you feel so uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted there. Where were we?
Seems like she's completely recovered, huh? Does that mean...
Oh, what's wrong? You look like you've got something on your mind.
Are you the other Layla?
Hmm? What are you talking about? What do you mean the other Layla? I am Layla.
Then why don't you just repeat the conversation we just had?
Fine. It appears that you were waiting for me to show up. I suppose there's no use in me pretending. I promise I don't mean any harm and I'll answer all your questions. But before that, would you mind telling me who you are first?
I'm a friend of Layla's. I'm trying to help her finish her thesis.
Let me think. Okay, I got it. You two found this place by following the hints that I left behind. You were planning to wait for me. Or I should say you were waiting for the Sealy to show up. Was this your idea or hers?
Mostly hers.
I see. Yes, she's always had great analytical skills. It'd be nice if she was more confident, though. All right. That's all the questions I have. Your turn. Please ask away.
You're the Sealy, aren't you?
That's right. Though I didn't intend for it to turn out this way, really. I just wanted to help out a few other classmates who were having a hard time while I was helping Layla finish her thesis. You see, Layla doesn't have many friends at the academia. If the others noticed her helping them out, I thought maybe I'd help her become more sociable. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out. Instead, legends of the Sealy started going around. But that's alright.
What's with Cecily pranking people?
I can instantly tell which students are asking serious questions and which are just trying to take advantage of me to slack off. My time to move freely is quite limited, so it's only natural that I would punish the people attempting to waste my time. My intention is to help people. I'm not here to cause any harm.
Did you infiltrate the House of Dana? And what about those rumors of special powers?
Infiltrating the House of Dana was a total accident. She'd forgotten an important book, and the House of Dana happened to be closed at the time. There were only days before the paper was due. I had no choice but to scale the walls with some simple climbing ropes and sneak in from above while the core of 30 wasn't paying attention. I had no idea there was still a student inside. I had no choice but to put him to sleep. Any clear evidence of my existence would only hinder my ability to conceal my identity. It would also expose me to Layla as well. As for the special powers, well, they're just things I did during the process of trying to finish the thesis. It's like I said, I don't have much time, so I need to be as efficient as possible. Well then, does that answer all your questions?
Actually, I have one last question. Why don't you want her to know you exist?
You see, her emotions are incredibly unstable. She's constantly doubting herself. If she knew that there's another Layla who is capable of doing everything, she may think even less of herself. She could think, maybe I should just leave it all to her. I'm always relying on her anyway. Why not let her live my life for me? She might start thinking about giving up completely, and that's the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do for her. After all, she and I are one and the same. We're two sides of the same coin. No one knows her greatest strength more than I do. It's her resilience. If she's able to persevere in everything she does, then one day she won't need my help anymore. I trust that she's capable of doing that, and it's something that she should do on her own.
I see.
She actually discovered the key data she needs for her thesis a long time ago. She just didn't organize it well enough. I'll complete her thesis for her just as I have in the past. Oh, please don't share any of this with her. I would like to keep this a secret for both of our sakes.
I understand.
Thank you for doing this for me. No, for us. She seems to be waking up now. Well, this is goodbye. If we never meet again, then I guess I did something right. Huh? Did I faint? Or did I fall asleep?
You're fine, you just had a little nap.
Oh, I see. Was I sleepwalking? I wasn't I?
Nah, not really.
Really? I don't believe you. You're hiding something from me. It's written all over your face.
I'm not, really.
You said you were gonna help me, didn't you? Why are you holding out on me now? Please tell me. You promised you'd help.
Okay, that was That Which Remains Unspoken. To keep a promise made to her means the breaking of a promise made to her. This is a tricky situation indeed. If you've watched this, thanks for watching, and I hope you all have wonderful lives. Peace.